Howdy folks, and I hope you're all fitting well wherever you are in collecting land, and welcome back to the channel. So, with Asmus dropping their Crown Series real hair version of the legendary SD Bob Plissken on us recently, and there's a full review for this figure up on the channel, but be warned, it's a long one because there's a lot to look at here. But check it out if you're wanting to get the lowdown on the minutiae of Snake. But because we really didn't get the chance to do a proper showcase and comparison in that video, I thought we'd take a bit of time out to see how Asmus's take on Snake squares up against Sideshow Collectibles' take on the youngest man to be decorated by the president. So, slightly different format for this video. We're going to do a tale of the tape between the two snakes, pick a winner, and wrap the whole thing up with the usual showcase at the end. But before we enter the ring with trash can lids and nailed baseball bats, I'd like to send the usual containment wall size shout out to everyone who supported the channel. And please drop a like on this video as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you don't miss any of the 1/6 scale news, views and reviews that we've got coming up. And trust me, there's a lot of it. So, without further ado, let's dive in and find out which of these two is the real King of New York. Okay folks, so let the Battle of the Snakes commence, but before the first round, it's probably worth mentioning here, and I hear a lot of you crying out at this point, Mr. Go Figure, it's completely unfair to compare a figure released back in 2014, essentially an 11-year-old figure, with something that's just been released today. Technology has moved forward. Design, concept and execution are far more intricate, professional and detailed. So how is it fair to put these two up against each other? Well, a couple of reasons. Number one, really they're the only mainstream 1/6 scale Snake Plisskens out there, outside of eye-wateringly expensive custom pieces. And number two, I'm a Brit, and we love putting the underdog against the big guy and watching the underdog win. So let's dive in. Let's start with, well, let's not start with the bases. Let's start with the packaging. I haven't dragged that out for the purposes of this comparison, but suffice it to say, Asmus Crown Series went all in with the packaging. Probably a little bit too all in my opinion. They really spent what looks like an eye-wateringly large amount of money on the on their Snake Plissken, and I don't object to that. I love fantastic packaging, I really do, and a lot of people display their figures with the boxes. Not me, unfortunately, that's not something I do, but I do appreciate a good box. Although I would rather see that money in the figure itself. But yeah, for the purposes of this comparison, absolutely the Asmus Toys wins. That's not to say that Sideshow's take on the presentation of this figure is bad. For an 11-year-old figure, the box was nice, the presentation and slipcover were good. So yeah, not bad overall, but a clear winner there in the box department anyway is Asmus. But let's start with these bases. Now, regulars to the channel will know my feelings on the Sideshow base, and I still have those feelings today. I had them 11 years ago and I have them today. I am not a huge fan of the black hexagonal base with the logo barely readable across the top there in slightly shinier lettering. It's not my cup of tea. It really isn't. So yeah, but it is what it is. Sideshow started out with these bases and still continue to use them today. And I'm not a massive fan, I've got to say. That's a personal thing though. I know there are a lot of people out there who like them, so that's the base for Sideshow. However, Asmus Toys, once again with their Crown Series, went all in with this base. And there is a full review for this guy up on the channel, as I mentioned before. There's a full review for both of them if you wanted to see them in a little bit more detail. So yeah, I'm going to say Asmus a clear winner here. You've got a diorama base with all kinds of things going on. There's the Statue of Liberty's torch, there are tyres and cab doors, and there's a sort of ground effect going on there, and then there's rock and all kinds of things. It's a fantastic looking base. That nameplate, super shiny, done in metal, really nice. But the one problem here, and this suffers from a problem with a lot of figures these days, when they give us these super fancy diorama bases, it's damn near impossible to pose the figure on it. I've got Snake here sort of perched without the flight pole, without the stand itself, and this is about as dynamic as you're going to get with this figure on this base, because Asmus went a little bit slap happy and threw everything at it, and in doing so really minimize the space you've got there to put the figure on. But it is what it is. But as far as design, imagination and execution go, I would say yes, Asmus Toys are a clear winner there. So let's move on to the bodies. Let's talk about the bodies on these two. Now the Sideshow version itself has jointed articulated arms with exposed articulation on there. The body itself has got some heft to it. It's stood the test of time really well. It's for an 11-year-old figure, the articulation it feels brand new. It feels like it just came out of the box yesterday. Super posable and a good job done here, although the leather jacket there does minimize movement in the upper body. The Asmus Toys take on Snake. Now this has the novel factor of having swap out arms. You've got the seamless swap out arms. Well, not technically seamless, they are rubber sleeved arms, and they also come with these two arms as well, these interchangeable arms, in case you're wanting to use a jacket. We will take a look at the accessories next. So the body itself though on this Asmus version, I've got to say it's a lot lighter, and although the articulation is okay, I think it feels cheaper. Now this is supposed to be a premium high-end collectible, this one, and unfortunately for me the body feels, it's not janky, there are no loose joints, it just doesn't feel quite as high-end as the Sideshow body, which is an unusual thing for me to say about Sideshow bodies, because past experience with Sideshow, I've had janky bodies from them, loose joints, horrible nasty bodies on some figures, but on the Snake figure they nailed it on, and super sturdy, super heavy, and apparently both of these figures have the snake on the abdomen section. Now, I've never removed the vest on either of these figures to check out whether that's there, because the way these vests are fitted, they really don't allow for them to be taken off or lifted up because of the way they're tucked around the crotch area. So yeah, I'm just going to take Asmus Toys and Sideshow Collectibles' word on the snake being there on both of them. So, accessories. Let's start with the Sideshow version. Now, a lot of the accessories are on the Sideshow Snake. You've got the holsters which fit onto the belt. You have to loop those through. There's the radio there, the walkie-talkie. You've got the holster for the Smith & Wesson. You've also got a holster for the Mac 10. It comes with the Mac 10, really nicely done. I would probably say out of the two, I actually slightly prefer the Sideshow Mac 10 to the Asmus Toys one. Now the rest of the accessories, you're looking at all the pouches that go on the belt there. There's 3 throwing stars, obviously a number of swap out hands. They're not the best hands in the world. I mean, we are looking at what, as I say, about 11 years old. So yeah, perhaps not the best quality of sculpt and paint application, but as I say, for 11 years old, they're pretty good. And all the pouches are there. You've got the button, the eagle wrist strap button going on over here. You've got the timer, the countdown timer as well, and so yeah, and the locating device as well. So replaceable Mac 10 clips as well, all nicely done. And it's pretty much the same story for the Asmus Toys version here. I would say the hands are better sculpted and painted on this, but we've got to remember, technology has moved forward, so they're going to be, and especially with the Crown series, we would expect to see that. But yeah, they're not without their faults, those hands. There's questionable paint applications on some of them, but overall, yeah, they are better than the Sideshow version. You get the radio as well. This one's got a removable antenna rather than a retractable one that you see in the Sideshow version. All the pouches are there as well, as is the locating device, and we mentioned those swap out arms. Worth mentioning as well with this particular figure, and I mentioned this in the review, Asmus Toys' solution to these pouches and holsters on the belt is not the best in the world. There are metal clips on the backs of these things, and I'll grab one just to show you, and getting these things on and off without trashing the belt is damn near impossible. So that's why Snake is untooled up at this stage, but yeah, that could have been better thought through. But overall, I would say the accessories are pretty much on a par with each other. Neither wins, neither loses on that score. They're all there. I would say probably Sideshow might just pip it with the quantity on those shurikens, which are nice to see. But overall, yeah, I would say that's a tie on that round on the accessories, with points going to either side. Let's take a look at the jackets. Now, the all-important Snake Plissken leather jacket. Now, I think this leather jacket on the Sideshow version is leather. I've done some digging on Sideshow's website. They say that it's leather. I've had this figure pretty much since it was released, and the quality of the jacket hasn't dropped particularly. There's been no flaking, there's been no falling apart of it, so I would suspect it isn't pleather, which is great to see, so I suspect it is leather. However, some issues with this jacket. Number one, the styling is okay, but it's a little bit on the tight side, and it's a real pain in the arse to try and get this thing on and off the figure itself. The weathering on there is not the best in the world, although the style is pretty accurate. There has been attempts at some weathering here, but overall I would say neither jacket on the figures is weathered correctly. I haven't got the leather jacket on the figure at this point in time, because I wanted, on the Asmus version, because I wanted to show you the seamless arms. But this leather jacket, yeah, I would say probably put up against the Sideshow version is slightly better. I think the styling is better, is more screen accurate. I think the lapels are off on this version. I think the overall quality is higher in the Asmus version. And they have used real leather most certainly here. The graining's really nice, the zips are well done. But once again, the weathering on this is the letdown. And that's a shame. Although Asmus have attempted to paint some weathering effect on there, I think neither of these two jackets really is fully screen accurate. But if I had to pick one, I would go with Asmus. I would say that they've done the slightly better job there. So overall, proportions wise, this is an interesting one. Take the jacket off the Sideshow version, and you've got those jointed articulated arms underneath, so displaying him without the jacket is not the best look in the world, let's put it that way. But the proportions are okay, but once the jacket's off, I would say the proportions are most certainly on the Asmus Toys version are far better at a distance as well. Fans of the film will be able to see there that the look of Snake is more generic in the Sideshow version. All important boots. Now, Snake's boots. I've got to say, the Asmus Toys have sort of got it here, I think. The sculpt and paint applications on the Sideshow are quite minimal, although they're relatively screen accurate. There's no weathering on there, there's no split cut boot design. You've got those spikes on the end of the boots, and the paint applications are pretty good. But as I say, we are talking an 11-year-old figure here. The boots on the Asmus Toys version, most certainly better. There's more weathering on there, there's more detailing in the sculpt. The paint applications are far superior, and overall, yeah, I would say the boots win here. Although there is one issue with the spikes on the end, as I mentioned in the review there. My version, they came out of the box bent to hell. All of them were bent and one of them was broken. So that's not the best thing in the world, but yeah, let's take a look at these Airborne camo pants. Pretty much a similar story for both of these figures here. There has been an ever so slight fading over the years on the Sideshow version, so the colours aren't quite as vibrant, but that's to be expected. This Asmus Toys version is new. Pretty much overall, the design, the colour, that high waist, the stitch work is fine on both of them. So really, not much to choose from in the camo pant department. The vest itself, pretty much the same as well on both of these figures. Super tight cotton with those sculpted in zips on the shoulder area there. So nothing much to pick between the two of them there. Finally, the head sculpt on both of these guys. So where to begin? Yes, we are talking 11-year-old head sculpt here. And Sideshow's version, it's not brilliant, even for an 11-year-old figure. Yes, it's definitely Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken, but it's very soft, it's cartoon-esque. The paint applications are exceptionally simple, with sort of almost a monotone skin tone application there. The eye is nice and blue. The eye patch is done well, and the sculpted in hair is okay for its time, although the style is a touch off, a little bit too high for my taste, but the colour is sort of on point, and the sculpting's not too bad. You've got a 5 o'clock shadow going on there, but really it isn't, it's not Snake Plissken, and it's not Kurt Russell. Well, it is Snake Plissken, but as I say, it's not Kurt Russell. Unmistakably Snake Plissken, but definitely could have been a better Kurt Russell there, but once again, we are talking 11 years old. So, the Asmus toys take, and yeah, this really shows the leap in production quality and standards from then till now. Now, Asmus have gone for this rooted hair version. Well, it's not technically a rooted hair version. What we've got here is a glued-on hair using a unique technique, or so they claim in their blurb. And I think it looks fantastic. Perhaps I don't think this lighting is doing it perhaps the most justice it could. But I was a little bit dubious about this head sculpt at first, but once I've got it in hand, I'm starting to love it more and more each day. The paint applications are far superior to the Sideshow version. I think the likeness, although not 100% Kurt Russell, is a lot closer than the Sideshow version. And overall, yeah, it's got that one eye movement system. I was going to call it PERS there, but it's not technically PERS because there's only one eye. But yeah, 5 o'clock shadow, very good. Lightness, far superior. Not 100%, but yeah, a definite winner there. And that's supposed to be expected 11 years down the line. So there you have it, folks. You have in the blue corner, you have Asmus Toys take on Snake Plissken, and in the red corner we have Sideshow's older contender for the Kurt Russell Award. So who's going to win this this titanic struggle? Let's go in for a final verdict. Okay folks, so time for a final verdict, and no points decision here, no split decision on the on the judges. We have a very clear knockout, pretty much in round one. Set myself a very easy task here. The clear winner is Asmus Toys' take on Snake Plissken. That's not to say it's perfect. There are issues there, some of which we've covered, a lot of which we covered in the full review. The Sideshow version, yes, it's 11 years old, so we've got to give it that. It was the old guy stepping into the ring, not quite as fit, not quite as up to speed as the young chap, but yeah. Sideshow version, problems, not enough weathering, that jacket is nowhere near as good as it should have been. Their head sculpt is soft, the paint applications are showing their age. Forgot to mention that hair, the sculpted hair on the Sideshow version, it rubs against this leather jacket. Having this jacket on is damp, as you can see there, the shoulder is lifting because it just gets underneath, it rubs and it can damage the jacket. The accessories are good on the Sideshow version, and probably the closest it got to winning around there, but on the whole, yeah, weathering's off, proportions aren't quite as good. Overall, it's Asmus all the way on this one. However, as I said, this is not perfect, from that overcrowded base to the broken and bent spikes on the boots, to the rubber-coated sleeved arms which crease when you try and bend them. The lightness is very, very good, but not perfect. Plus sides though, proportions are far, far better. That hair is excellent. The likeness to Snake and to Kurt Russell, far, far superior to the Sideshow version. And just overall, a far, far better better figure, but as we've probably come to expect with an 11-year gap between the two snakes. So there you have it, folks, a very clear knockout in the first round, and the winner is Asmus Toys Snake Plissken. Hope you've enjoyed this bit of fun, folks. Hope it's been enjoyable and useful for you. What have we got coming up on the channel? Well, we have a raft of 1/6 scale figures coming in for review. We've got stuff from Hot Toys, from InArt, from Susu Toys, Present Toys, Iconic Studios. Hopefully more from Asmus Toys. This is only my second toe dip in the pool that is Asmus Toys. So yes, stay tuned for those reviews. We've got more showcases. We have more episodes of Grail or Fail. We have more news and previews, just a whole boatload of stuff. So as I mentioned at the top there, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you don't miss any of the 1/6 scale goodness we've got coming up. And I suppose all it remains for me to say is, from the two snakes who are about to both be showcased, take care of yourselves. Thank you for watching. Happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.